Hello, this is today's Wednesday, April 29th, but I'm here to offer some brief thoughts on the readings that we're going to hear at Mass this weekend, which is the fourth Sunday of Easter. Before I do that, I want to mention something that during the Easter season there's a certain pattern that the readings follow, that the gospel readings follow. On the second Sunday of Easter, we always hear the story of Thomas in the upper room. On the third Sunday of Easter, we always hear a post-resurrection encounter of somebody with Jesus that has a strong Eucharistic theme. And on the fourth Sunday of Easter, the gospel is always taken from the 10th chapter of John's Gospel, which speaks of Christ as a shepherd. And as a result, the fourth Sunday of Easter within the Catholic Church is known as Good Shepherd Sunday, which we will be celebrating this weekend. So here is the gospel for this weekend's Sunday Mass. It's a reading from the Gospel of John. Jesus said, "Amen, amen, I say to you, whoever does not enter a sheepfold through the gate but climbs over elsewhere is a thief and a robber. But whoever enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens it for him, and the sheep hear his voice, as the shepherd calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has driven out all his own, he walks ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they recognize his voice. But they will not follow a stranger. They will run away from him, because they do not recognize the voice of strangers." Although Jesus used this figure of speech, the Pharisees did not realize what he was trying to tell them. So Jesus said again, "Amen, amen, I say to you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved, and will come in and go out and find pasture. A thief comes only to steal and slaughter and destroy. I came so that they might have life and have it more abundantly." Now, customarily on Good Shepherd Sunday, among the other things that we might do is we are careful to pray for the Pope and the bishops during the petitions. We very likely pray for the men who are going to be ordained to priesthood in a couple of weeks, usually in the month of May. We often pray for vocations, and many times we also pray for everybody who works in pastoral ministry for the church, which are just about every member of the pastoral staff and liturgy people. We're all pastors in our own departments. So the focus of the readings and of the Sunday is upon Christ the Shepherd, but there's also a call that's kind of implied that we hear it. When we hear this gospel proclaimed in the church, it's also a call to work in unity with our shepherds and with one another. You know, we all have the same shepherd, and we're all his sheep, and so we ought to be moving in the same direction. Now, the main shepherd of our local church is Archbishop Listecki, and tomorrow, which is Thursday, he's going to be leading a conference call for priests in which we are going to review a plan for returning to Mass. That's basically the heading of the email that I got announcing this conference call. And that's really the extent that I know of what this is going to be about. We didn't get an agenda. We don't have any real clue what the bishop is going to share with us, what the timetable is, and none of that is known. I hope to learn that tomorrow. But we all know that we are in very unusual times right now. And it's a challenge to keep our parishes strong and keep people together and connected and pulling in the same direction because of the circumstances we're in. It just is what it is. Now, I want to say a few words about the idea of strength, but I want to do it by using an example that I happen to have with me here, which is this egg right here. Now, eggs are probably one of the most fascinating things that you have in your house. I don't have eggs in my house because I really don't eat them very much, so I had to borrow this one. But it's a perfectly normal egg, right out of the box. It's not hard-boiled. It's none of that. It's just an egg like you'd buy off the shelf. The shell of an egg is probably about 0.5 millimeter thick, 0.5 millimeter. But it is amazingly strong, and I'm going to give you just a brief definition or a sign of how strong it is. But if you try this at home, I'm not responsible for the mess that you might make. If you take an egg, as I'm going to take it, and you put your thumb on the bottom or whatever, and your finger on the top, but basically have your hands on the top of the egg and the bottom of the egg in some way, and you squeeze with equal pressure, you're going to realize that you are very likely not strong enough to break this egg by pressure. And again, it's only 1/2 of a millimeter thick. And I really hesitate to squeeze absolutely as hard as I can, because if this blows up, it will be forever on YouTube and I'm going to have to live with that. But I can tell you, I'm pushing pretty hard and it's not going anywhere. And I think you'll have that experience if you do it. So here we have an eggshell. I'm squeezing on it, trying to break it, and I cannot possibly do it. But you know and I know that if I were to drop it ever so lightly, or if I were just to use my finger and go poke, I could crack it. In which case the whole egg, for all its strength, would simply fall apart. And if it had a crack in it while I was squeezing it, it would have blown up. So what this is an example of is that, it's a shell that cannot be broken by pressure, but it can be broken by picking at it. And in many ways, I think parishes are kind of like this egg, and the parishes can survive all kinds of pressures. St. Matthew, St. Mary by the Lake are parishes that have been around a long time, and they have seen all kinds of things, and they have dealt with all kinds of stresses, from disease outbreaks to world wars to all kinds of things. I mean, when you're around for 170, 180 years, you've seen just about everything. We're in one of those periods of stress now, I think, and it's my belief that overall we're handling it pretty well. It's very uncharted territory. No one can tell us what we're supposed to be doing, but what we're doing, I think, is very effective, because a lot of people are working very hard. I think the last 2 months have shown that we can deal with all kinds of things, even though we did not expect them, and we cannot in any way really control them. Now, that's not to say that everything has gone perfectly. There are many things that I wish we were doing differently in the church as far as our ministries. I wish we were doing some things differently in the state as far as going back to work. I know that I, along the way, could have done a better job with different things, as I'm kind of muddling through, trying to think, what should I be doing? How should I connect with people? Who am I missing? What ought I to be doing? These are questions that keep coming, and I'm sure sometimes my decisions have not been as good as they might have been. But I think we all need to realize, as we're reflecting on these readings this weekend, that bringing things back to normal, whatever exactly that is going to be a challenge. Again, I don't have any idea really what that's going to look like, and I do hope to learn a little bit more tomorrow, and if I do learn anything, I will pass it along to you. But I do know that if we are overly critical with each other, or if we expect things to be just as they were, or just as we would like them to be, I think it's going to be tough going. I would prefer that we didn't have to come to church wearing masks, but maybe we're going to have to. Maybe social distancing is something we're going to have to keep doing. It could even be the case that maybe when we come back to Mass, we have to go in shifts because we have to limit attendance. I'm just pulling these randomly out of my mind, but they're not, totally off the wall kind of suggestions about what we might be told to do. And just kind of approaching them with an open mind and saying, well, if this is how we have to do it, that's what we're going to have to do. My fear is that if we're not patient with each other, and we're overly critical with each other, or with the church, or with particular people who aren't doing what we'd like them to do, we may all find that we have survived the shutdown, only to fall apart when we all come back together. And that, I think, would be a shame. So as I see it, the future is really going to require of us generosity, creativity, and unity. So let's work to have those qualities qualities in abundance as we work to rebuild the church and our parishes in the months to come. Easter blessings to everybody.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship your holy name. Worship